actually. So Team USA's roster, of course, came out the other day. I did a couple of videos about it. We know Caitlin Clark finally going to emerge in a competitive setting in a training camp that they're going to have right here. Let me just give you the specifics. Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark hinted that she would participate in Team USA basketball activities during the WNBA offseason, following the conclusion of her team's 2025 campaign. Initially, the thought was
a recent social media post regarding Team USA's basketball lineup has sparked significant debate among fans, with various supporters expressing strong opinions about who deserves starting positions on the squad. The roster announcement came out recently, featuring Caitlin Clark among the selected players. Indiana Fever's standout athlete hinted at her involvement with Team USA basketball operations during the WNBA's break after wrapping up her team's 2025 season. Questions remain about whether Clark will take part in the USA basketball preparation session scheduled for early March 2026, serving as a lead-up to the 2026 FIBA World Cup qualifying matches running from March 11 through 17. What's confirmed is her attendance in Durham, North Carolina from December 12 through 14 for USA Basketball Women's National Squad preparation sessions, alongside her Fever colleague Aaliyah Boston and head coach Stephanie White.
Off-season, following the conclusion of her team's 2025 campaign. Initially, the thought was she was referring to USA Basketball training camp in early March 2026, which is a precursor to the 2026 FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament from March 11 through 17. While it's currently unclear whether Clark will indeed compete in this training camp or tournament, she will certainly be in Durham, North Carolina from December 12th through 14th as part of USA Basketball Women's National Team training camp, as well as her.
This development has generated considerable enthusiasm, particularly since Clark hasn't appeared in competition on a basketball floor since sustaining a groin problem in mid-July, which essentially concluded her 2025 WNBA campaign. An ankle problem also emerged unexpectedly during this period. Discussion among fans centers on whether Clark should occupy a starting position on this squad, though many question why this even requires deliberation. A proposed starting five was shared online, featuring Caitlin Clark at point guard, Kaylee Copper, Jackie Young, Dearica Hamby, and Aaliyah Boston, with additional players listed as bench options. This suggestion received over 200,000 views and generated substantial reaction from different fan bases, particularly supporters of Paige Bueckers
training camp, as well as her Fever teammate Aaliyah Boston and her head coach Stephanie White. Oh boy. This has prompted a ton of excitement, largely because Clark hasn't been seen competing on a basketball court since she injured her groin in the middle of July, which effectively ended her 2025 WNBA season, as well as all of a sudden we had an ankle injury that showed up out of nowhere, right? Fans debate whether Clark should.
Some labeled the post as deliberately provocative content, though others struggle to understand what makes it divisive. Various alternative lineups emerged in response. Some proposed Paige over Caitlin in the starting five, with suggestions including Young, Copper, Cameron Brink, and others. One recurring theme that continues to perplex observers is the Chelsea Gray discussion. Multiple commenters advocated for the veteran guard Chelsea Gray to secure a starting role ahead of Caitlin Clark, a suggestion that strikes many as puzzling.
Showed up out of nowhere, right? Fans debate whether Clark should start on this team. I don't know how this is even a debate. This post got put up as a potential starting five. All right. Caitlin Clark at point guard, Kaylee Copper, Jackie Young, Dearica Hamby, and Aaliyah Boston. And then, of course, these are the reserves on the team, right? And, my God, the Paige Bueckers supporters.
For those closely following recent developments, there appears to be no scenario where Gray would start over Caitlin Clark in competitive play. Additional proposed lineups included combinations with Paige, Sonia, Jackie Young, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink. Questions arose about starting a point guard who leads the league in turnovers, though this overlooks the record-setting assist average. Clark stands as the competition's premier facilitator, the most explosive offensive creator available. This quality explains why she shouldn't operate away from the ball but instead orchestrate plays similar to a quarterback in professional football.
My God. The Paige Becker supporters, of course. And I don't want to throw Angel supporters in this because I've seen a lot of actually put Angel and Caitlyn on the court at the same time. But somehow this got labeled as rage bait. And I'm not sure how this is controversial, but here we go with some of the dumbass takes that came out of this, right? It's got over 200,000 views on it now. Paige.
Despite various contradictory suggestions, more fans appear to support Clark earning a starting spot. Proposed combinations include Clark, Paige, Jackie, Reese, and Boston. Some express interest in seeing Kiki Arafon or observing Caitlin Clark and Sonia Centron sharing the court simultaneously. Multiple fans echo the sentiment that Paige and Caitlin Clark starting together represents an obvious choice, though questions persist about whether Paige is being elevated too rapidly in these discussions. The original poster faces accusations of creating deliberately inflammatory content, though many fail to see what makes the suggestion problematic.
Paige. Okay. Young, Copper, Cameron Brent? Really? After being injured like that? Reese, suggesting Caitlyn should be left out of the starting five. Paige over Caitlyn, and then it is good. Okay. Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Rickea Jackson, Kelsey Cameron Brent. Again? All right. This is the one that continues to baffle me, besides the Paige thing. This Chelsea.
Concerns exist regarding players like Guju being included while recovering from injuries. Questions surface about how someone still rehabilitating from an ACL tear can participate without risking severe setbacks, though all participants face injury possibilities during competition. Numerous comments reference players not included in this particular roster, noting that Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart aren't involved. Many raise legitimate questions about Kelsey Mitchell's absence from the team entirely. Cameron Brink's inclusion on the starting five rather than simply the roster draws skepticism from some observers.
Page thing. This Chelsea Gray deal. I mean, seriously. Caitlin Clark over Chelsea Gray in competitive basketball? Question mark. Some dude says, suggesting the veteran guard Chelsea Gray deserves a starting role over Caitlin Clark. Look, I've only been locked in for a couple of years. There's not a world where I'm starting Gray over Caitlin Clark. Not a galaxy far, far away. Nowhere. Caitlin Clark over Chelsea Gray in competitive basketball.
Suggestions emerge favoring Veronica Burton over Copper as well. Questions about Angel Reese's roster spot appear in discussions, though many see no problem with her inclusion. Certain aspects of Reese's performance improved during the previous year in specific areas, though development continues. The persistent Chelsea Gray preference from some quarters remains puzzling to numerous observers, with some even suggesting Gray should start over Cooper. The fundamental question emerges about priorities, whether growing women's basketball's popularity and Team USA's profile matters, along with viewership numbers and related factors.
Over Chelsea Gray in competitive basketball? 127 times out of 10. Yeah, easy. Paige, Sonia, Jackie Young, Angel Reese, Cam Britt. I don't know if you can start a point guard that leads the league in turnovers, but who knows? Well, she also set a record for assists per game. She is the game's best facilitator. Most dynamic offensive facilitator.
Caitlin Clark clearly brings all these elements. Reports suggest the selection committee for the 2024 roster hesitated to include her due to concerns about managing criticism if her playing time proved insufficient. However, the committee's responsibility involves selecting the optimal players for competition. When fans disapprove of what they observe, they possess every right to voice criticism. This represents how the system functions in sports.
In North Carolina from December the 12th through December the 14th. Stephanie White will be a part of the event. Superstar basketball players, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, and a host of very others. But no one name is bigger than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's name has definitely took the world by storm in these last recent days. dealing with this Team USA situation, because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark.
The Chelsea Gray situation continues to baffle observers, appearing as part of the established WNBA hierarchy attempting to maintain influence. Traditional WNBA followers may not grasp that changes are occurring, with authentic sports enthusiasts now engaged in driving conversations. The debate concludes with the assertion that Caitlin Clark absolutely must start at point guard, viewing this as unquestionable rather than controversial. Recent reports indicate that Team USA Basketball has required Caitlin Clark to switch from her well-known jersey number for upcoming competitions.
Because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out early this morning about the matter, so this could be the first time you guys is hearing about this. But let's blow it up and let's dive right into the story, man. It states Caitlin Clark Team USA number change turns heads. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will be wearing a foreign number the next time she competes on a basketball court. Hold up, wait a minute. Now, we know the 2026 basketball season.
The Indiana Fever standout will be donning a different digit when she takes the court next. Team USA has scheduled training camp sessions in North Carolina running from December 12th through December 14th. The roster includes several prominent names such as Stephanie White, Paige Buchers, and Juju Watkins, though Clark's participation has generated the most buzz. This comes after considerable controversy surrounding her exclusion from the Olympic team roster earlier in the year, and many view this number change as another slight against the superstar.
Hold up, wait a minute. Now, we know the 2026 basketball season is up in the air, which that's a whole nother video too that we have to discuss, because the CBA agreement is down to like 3-4 days, man. I believe it's at the end of the month, and I don't believe they're going to settle for another extension. I believe that the ladies, is from what I'm hearing, is tired of this whole negotiations stuff, and they're ready for this lockout. Now, I was one of the people that was on board telling y'all, man, I don't believe it's going to be a lockout. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm changing my whole.
The timing of this development is particularly notable given the uncertainty surrounding the 2026 WNBA season. The collective bargaining agreement negotiations are reaching a critical juncture, with just days remaining until the deadline at month's end. Sources suggest that players are exhausted with the prolonged negotiation process and may be prepared for a work stoppage. The belief is growing that a lockout appears increasingly inevitable, contrary to earlier optimistic predictions.
It's going to be a lockout. I'm here to tell you I'm changing my whole wavelength of thinking. I'm changing everything about that whole process of thinking, because I believe it's definitely going to be a lockout. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no shaking it. I believe the owners is being very, very disrespectful to the women. They definitely deserve $1 million contract. Now, do they deserve 5-10? I don't believe so, but 1.1 to 2 million, yes, they deserve that, bro. We all can agree on that. I've never been one to say that the women don't deserve their money, because they definitely do. Now,
regarding compensation, there's widespread sentiment that franchise owners are showing insufficient respect toward the athletes. While opinions vary on whether multi-million-dollar contracts in the 5 to 10 million range are appropriate, there's strong consensus that deals between $1.1 and $2 million are well-deserved for top talent. Clark's number 22 has become iconic in women's athletics. The jersey has achieved legendary status, recognized globally as synonymous with the guard's identity.
They definitely do. Now, goes on to say there's a case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There's no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number for any woman athlete in the world as of today. As of today, there's no number in women's sports that can come close.
This association began during her remarkable collegiate tenure at Iowa and continued seamlessly into her professional career with the Fever. The number carries such weight that it stands alone as the most famous numerical designation in women's sports currently. Interestingly, Clark isn't the sole WNBA player who wears 22. A'ja Wilson also sports the same number, as does Cameron Brink when she plays.
There's no number in women's sports that can come close, remotely close to the notoriety of Caitlin number. It stated this is largely owed to Caitlin Clark being arguably the biggest star in women's sports on her own, regardless of her number, but she has certainly become synonymously with 22, dating back to her historic college career at the University of Iowa and through her WNBA career. Now, I did a video yesterday where Caitlin Clark was wearing a different number, and I spoke about it in that video. If you guys have not seen it,
The latter athlete has maintained a notably low profile recently during her time away from competition. During the All-Star Game, questions arose about how Wilson and Clark would handle the duplicate number situation, though Clark's groin injury ultimately prevented her from participating in the exhibition. According to released roster information, Clark will wear number 17 during the December training camp sessions. The official team sheet reveals various number assignments for participating players, though curiously, no athlete appears to have claimed 22 for this particular event.
Number, and I spoke about it in that video. If you guys have not seen it, I highly recommend you guys go check it out. That is the one with Caitlin Clark. Got some footage from 2017, and she's wearing number 11 in that clip. I believe that was from high school. Stated Caitlin Clark isn't the only WNBA star they have number 22. A'ja Wilson got it as well. Cameron Brink wears Cheryl Swoops is also known for wearing it. Which this year, y'all noticed since Cheryl Swoops was on.
This mirrors situations like Michael Jordan wearing 45 during certain Olympic competitions instead of his iconic 23. Juju Watkins has been assigned number 21, while other players have received their respective designations. Angel Reese will maintain her customary number, and Kelsey Plum's assignment has also been confirmed. The complete roster breakdown shows Clark definitively switching to a new number.
Which this year, y'all noticed since Cheryl Swoops was unemployed, she's been really quiet. We haven't really been hearing a lot out of the Cheryl Swoops department. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I've been noticing that, bro. We have not been hearing a lot from the Cheryl Swoops department. Now, it says the fact that Clark and Wilson wear the same number in the All-Star game caught attention, if only because there was one question about how they shared the number.
In related news, hip-hop icon Lil Wayne recently showed appreciation for Clark during an appearance in Des Moines, Iowa. The rapper enthusiastically praised the basketball player, referring to her as the GOAT and offering respect while performing in her home state territory. The endorsement came during what appears to be a concert or public appearance, demonstrating Clark's crossover appeal beyond basketball circles into mainstream entertainment culture. The combination of the jersey number adjustment, ongoing labor disputes, and continued public attention highlights the complex landscape surrounding women's professional basketball heading into the holiday season and beyond.